Okay. 5 o'clock. I'll open the meeting at 5. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would somebody make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 8th meeting, regular meeting?
Make a motion for the approval of minutes for the December 8th, 2021 regular meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We'll have the executive director's report for December and January.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. December, all drawdowns of HUD funds for capital and operating dollars have been completed for the month of November for our federal complexes. Move-ins, we had 2 move-ins, one at George B. Lewis 1, one at Oak Terrace, 3 move-outs, one at George B. Lewis 2, 3 at Oak Terrace. Oh, that's actually 4. 1 move-in in the Housing Choice Voucher Program, no transfers, and 2 move-outs. We're currently up to number 70 on the Housing Choice Voucher Program waiting list. Waiting list as of December, George B. Lewis 1 and 2 sites, 53 applicants remaining. Lewis Circle 2 bedroom, 65 applicants remaining. Lewis Circle 3 bedroom, 25 applicants remaining. Robert E. Huck Congregate 60 applicants remaining. And Oak Terrace Apartment Studio 107 applicants remaining. For the 1 bed and for the 1 bedroom, 13 applicants remaining. All lists are closed right now with exception to the Robert E. Huck Congregate, which is the site down on Melville Avenue. We sent purge letters out, which we do annually. We send them out to all the people on the waiting list, asking if they're still interested. This way, if someone's not interested, we can remove them. It gets rid of the people on the waiting list that aren't interested or didn't update us with their current addresses. So we can then, minimize the people on the list so we can reopen it. Property site updates, George B. Lewis 1 and 2 complexes. Osborne Road, we hired an electrical contractor to repair the non-working roof ice melters on buildings 1 and 4. The site contractor deposited wood chips on the newly cleared hill behind buildings 3 and 4. He's gonna finish spreading those, but right now the ground is so soft there, he's gonna wait and then come back and spread it. COVID booster clinic provided by the Naugatuck Pharmacy was held at both sites. The resident service coordinators called the residents to schedule the booster vaccines. At the Robert E. Huck Congregate site, we had a booster clinic scheduled for December 18th, which we had to cancel because we had increased COVID cases at that site. I reached out to Stable Health and coordinated testing of the residents, and we rescheduled the booster to January. Last month we did it. Oak Terrace, we had an underground water pipe break on December 20th, late night. The water company had a contact. We had to contact the water company to shut off the water supply. Maintenance staff had to come in and clear all the water that was turning to ice. And we then located the water line and repaired it the following day. The water is restored about 3:30 the next day. We also had a booster clinic here at Oak Terrace sponsored by the Naugatuck Pharmacy. And our resident service coordinators and public housing manager assisted in calling the residents to schedule the booster shots. Miscellaneous, I continued working with legal counsel on 2 evictions currently in process. There was an eviction that was completed at Lewis Circle, and that apartment has been renovated and now has been leased up. Christmas Day meals were delivered to homebound residents at all sites from St. Michael's Church. Thank you to Jim Goggin and all the volunteers who prepared and delivered the meals. The residents were truly grateful. And moving on to January, same thing, all of our HUD funds for capital and operating dollars were completed for the month of December. Public housing, we had 1 move-in at George B. Lewis 1, 1 transfer at the George B. Lewis 2 site, and 1 move out at the Congregate site. Housing Choice Voucher Program for move-ins, no transfers for move-outs, and we're currently up to number 70 on the Housing Choice Voucher waiting list. that really hasn't moved because we have so many vouchers on the street for that program that we don't have enough inventory. There's not enough apartments right now available because so many other out-of-town people came and rented apartments. So we've got a problem with getting apartments within our market standards or the fair market rents that HUD will allow us to pay. George B. Lewis, 1 and 2 sites, we have 53 applicants remaining. Lewis Circle, we have 2-bedroom site, 64 applicants remaining. Lewis Circle, 3-bedroom, 25 applicants remaining. Robert E. Hutt Congregate, 62 applicants remaining, and Oak Terrace has 86 applicants remaining for the studio, 1-bedroom, 8 applicants remaining. George B. Lewis 1 and 2 complexes. We had to address some insufficient heating complaints at that site with the heating contractor to seek resolution. We have a lot of residents that complain that, they're not getting enough heat there, especially when it's like 10 degrees or lower. We actually had MJ Daly, who services the boilers there, come and walk through the apartments and visit them. Of course, it was like 20 something degrees. It wasn't 10 or 8 degrees, but basically the heat was working. It's just people want, 75 or 80 degree heat in their apartment, and it's not going to happen if it's that cold outside. But the systems were checked, and most of the residents were at 69 to 70 degrees, if not higher. But
It's just certain people out there.
yeah, exactly. Certain people want it really warm, and it's hard when it's that cold outside, especially have large windows. And I explained to people, if you don't have heavy curtains or a cover on your air conditioner sleeve, that's cold air coming in. And some people have their chair right by the window, so of course that makes it colder. We finally had the COVID booster clinic in January at Robert E. Hutt Congregate, now that everybody was cleared from the virus, symptom-free. I'm also requested with Greater Waterbury Transit to try and add the Robert E. Hutt site as a bus stop. I've had some residents there that actually walk up to Oak Terrace to get on the bus. That's very difficult to do, changing the transit. I still have the request in with them, but it's very difficult because they do have established stops, throughout the, Naugatuck, Waterbury area. But I'm still gonna pursue it, but they're telling me, based on like maybe four people that would use it, it's really not warranted. But we're gonna see what we can do. There's also a program called Dial a Ride, which I believe 2 days a week, the Naugatuck, the HRD bus couples with the Prospect Senior bus, and you can get bused to Naugatuck, Waterbury, Watertown, all the way out to, I believe, Meriden for doctor's appointments, dental appointments, things like that. So I'm getting that information, and we'll get the sign up forms to everybody. There's a sign up form, just like when you ride the HRD bus. You guys might be familiar with that. A lot of your residents are using that already. So it's just a simple sign up form. And as soon as those are available, I'll distribute those and give them to the resident service coordinators to put with their newsletter. We're also, I reached out for updated quotes on cameras for Oak Terrace. Joan Taft had requested that I, look into those cameras due to the increased suspicious activity reported up here. And that'll help hopefully to deter some of the crime or, the suspicious people walking through unauthorized visitors, et cetera. So we had obtained prices a few years ago. We have to update those quotes, and then we'll, see if we have sufficient funds to
And I
cover
did
that.
give you that name from Hamden, that they're gonna use at Linden Park. I think Derek knows about that.
Okay, yeah, Jan said he was gonna look into it too, to let me know the name of the company and who coordinated that.
I'll send it, Joan.
Yes, Jan.
Is that the same one that was in the paper that you're getting for Linden Park? Is that it's somebody else? These people were from Hamden.
I haven't had time for the paper lately, but don't worry, we've voted on that, so I'll get it
I
to
know
you.
they had the present. I think it was, but that's a smaller area.
Yeah, and I think it's one camera, right?
No, I think they're gonna have a couple cameras.
It's gonna be 2 cameras on 1 pole that's gonna track a very large area. It'll be live at the police station. It'll be on their storage servers down there for 30 days. And hopefully it's gonna work very good. This is a test situation at this point.
That's good. I hope, I told her to contact them too, you know.
But it's about $6,000 a camera right now, so we'll see what happens.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
though.
not cheap. It's not cheap. And, you know, if you want to monitor it or, you know, have an app on your phone, which is nice, you could see what's going on.
And we could have it go right to the police department too.
Yeah, if they're, you know, if they wanted to.
We got 200,000, so.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to, yeah, we got the right person here today.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing on, continue to work with council evictions, in process. We still have a couple ongoing. We had an eviction completed at the Robert E. Hutt site, and, maintenance is in the process of renovating that apartment. And, I was in the process of obtaining quotes for a new snowplow. Our old one needs replacement. And, we're still waiting on delivery of snow equipment for this season. That's been on back order. And we don't know when that's gonna be coming in, but we've already, you know, putting in orders and lists for what we need for summer equipment, because they're saying you better get it now, order it now, because inventory is gonna be low, just like it was this year because of COVID and all the shipping delays. And that's it for,
I have one comment, Chris.
yes,
I was looking at Oak Terrace Apartments, that we have the application. From December to now, to January, there was a decrease of almost 49 apartments. I mean, does that mean the people just are looking somewhere else or something?
86.
Wasn't that?
Oh, we did purge letters. When we do purge letters, we
Yeah, I
send out a
see that
letter.
underneath there, but-
Exactly, so we always lose a lot of people because people apply and then they don't keep us updated with information as far as updating their address. So we send a letter to them, they're no longer at that address and their phone number's inactive, so we remove them from the list because we can't reach them.
Okay.
So that's why so many people come off.
No, I saw, you know.
Typically, we purge like the end of the year,
Mhm.
so.
That's a good thing. right?
Yeah, it helps because this way you're not wasting time. When you have an apartment ready, you don't have to call 20 people.
Right.
We have an active waiting list ready at all times.
Okay, executive director's report, maintenance director.
Maintenance for December. Unit renovated total, we had 6 completed for the month of December. Leaf cleanup was completed early December at all sites. Sites were plowed and sanded for 3 snow ice events in December. Completed 14 after hours calls, 3 with no dispatch. Completed 65 work orders. Blade and Flamora cleaned the laundry rooms at Oak Terrace. Blade and Flamora also delivered monthly food bank delivery of boxes to our residents at Oak Terrace, Congregate, and George B. Lewis. Assisted contractor and broken water line repair and cleanup at Oak Terrace, building 13 area, where we had the broken water. All the staff had to help with cleanup and sanding and cleaning up the parking lot afterwards. Mechanics report, put new serpentine belt on the and wiper blades on the 2006 Chevy Silverado. 4 new tires on the vent truck machine and installed new sander on the dump truck. And for January, we had 7 units renovated total. Sites were plowed and or sanded 13 times for snow ice events in January. Completed 25 after hours calls, 6 with no dispatch. Completed 76 work orders. Blade and Fillmore once again cleaned the laundry rooms at Oak Terrace. Adam did George B. Lewis. Blade and Fillmore delivered the monthly food bank delivery of boxes to the Naugatuck Housing Authority residents. Oak Terrace, Congregate, and GDL once again. Mark and Fillmore washed the snow equipment. Cleaned open parking spaces after storms as residents move vehicles. That's an ongoing process after a snowstorm.
Mhm.
Every time people move their cars, call or somebody has to go over with the machine, empty out that area, etc. Community rooms and restrooms were cleaned at Oak Terrace and George B. Lewis sites. Mechanics report, fixed the 2004 Ford F-350 dump truck, steering column linkage and cable, replaced headlight in 2009 Chevy Silverado, driver's side, fixed the sander on the Kubota and worked on repairing the plow. Needs replacement. The connections are corroded and the plow is worn. Which is what we got the quotes for today.
Alrighty, we'll go into the police department report.
Oh, yeah, okay, let's see, we have 4 Robert E. Hutt, we had 11 calls there, 9 for an ambulance, 1 fire call, which is just a person stuck in the elevator, and then a patrol check. George B. Lewis, 1, 2 calls, both of them ambulance calls. George B. Lewis, 2, we had 4 calls total. 3 of them were for ambulance, 1 was a welfare check. 2 calls at Lewis Circle, 1 parking problem, 1 suspicious person. And then right here at Oak Terrace, we had 75 calls, but when you take out the 51 patrol checks we did, it was 24 calls. We had 10 ambulance calls, 2 animal complaints, 1 assist others, 1 community relations function, a fire call, which was just a fire alarm, no fire, 2 general complaints. We had a larceny, which was a theft of motor vehicle parts. They've been cutting catalytic converters off the vehicles. So we got 1 of the cars up here. 1 parking problem, 1 suspicious person, which was actually, it was originally called in as a domestic. It was downgraded to the suspicious person. It was just the woman's ex-husband. So, 2 vandalisms where the same vehicles has had its tires slashed. They have a suspect. So they're actively working that investigation. And then 2 welfare checks. Chief of Police is here with us tonight, so give him the floor.
Thank you. Just wanted to pick up where Derek left off here. I'm currently the interim chief of police. I know I've been up here a couple times, so I just want to take a moment to reintroduce myself for everybody here. Obviously, want to continue our relationship to work with the Housing Authority, continue our presence up here. I thank Derek for being the rock that is always here to attend these meetings, keep the lines of communication open. Obviously, I'd like to make myself available if there's any issues that you guys encounter. Just a coincidence, I happen to be here when you're talking about those cameras. That is part of a much larger project that we are trying to do long-term throughout the borough. I know that project was quoted at $6,000. That was due to a lot of complexities of it being off-site, and we don't think of the park as being rural, but there's no direct internet access. One of the most expensive parts of that project was getting the wireless modem in order to use a cell phone to beam the data back to the police station. So I'd definitely like to have a conversation with you guys before you proceed with any cameras here, because we could definitely look into doing something that would make sure it's native. The technology would basically talk to our server. Because the servers are generally the most expensive thing too. Those can go upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 to retain enough data. But we were able to purchase ones with the foresight that we were going to expand out our camera system. Most of the successful crime reduction initiatives in communities that are progressive do involve a large amount of camera coverage. So what that could mean is we would have the ability to view it in dispatch, but at the same time, it would also allow us to pull up any archive footage. If any of the community members here have any concerns about suspicious activity, they're coming forward with something they've seen or noticed a couple days prior, even a couple weeks prior, we could then pull that up and see what was going on, and if possible, investigate that and work our way backwards. So the technology has really improved quite a bit. Wasn't planning on making a pitch for that tonight, but definitely we did. We'll touch base and we'll talk about this. Like I said, I think we could do it, and we'll get what you guys would be looking to spend. It's mainly the hardware and the equipment, maybe some of the installation, and then we would take over on the back end with the data management and storage, which is the long run. And that's the stuff that can be, we have the infrastructure in place with, due to the fact that, if the servers go down or maintaining it over the cost of several years, if these go down, the cameras themselves are actually not that expensive right now. The villas are the ones I believe that are preferred, and they're actually like, upwards of $300, $400. They're maybe a level above what you buy off the shelf at any of your popular retail stores. So it is a solution. We've definitely been pushing it. Obviously want to continue to maintain a visible patrol presence up here. We do think that's an important component of having the cruisers drive through. But at the same time, we can't be here constantly, but the cameras do allow us to do that, especially at nighttime. If you guys are noticing an uptick or something, we could pull those up, and if they see any suspicious vehicles, actually self-dispatch the officers here too. So it definitely is a good option moving ahead. As far as moving forward, any outreach events and stuff, we do have Coffee with a Cop on Monday down at the Loaded Goat. We ask and invite anybody to attend. It's a great way to meet some of our officers. We do Narcan training outreach, which is a great tool to have for anybody, regardless of whatever situation you find yourself in. It's reality, you might have to be in a position to save somebody's life. The Narcan is prescribed at these events, these outreach events. Just continue to follow our social media. We'll publish these things as they come out. And I guess I'll also turn it over if you have any questions for me, or is there anything that I could do for you guys better here or bring back to our people.
Yeah, sure. So what about a time frame for the cameras? Anything you can give us once the planning stage is over with? How soon we can get them here?
That's dependent on a lot of things. I know I hate hearing it just as much, so I don't want to say the supply line has definitely been an issue, but I think it's reasonable. I mean, if we moved ahead with it, in a month, I think a couple months is reasonable. But unfortunately, there's a lot of things that have to come together at once with this. For example, we are doing license plate cameras that are going to be fixed at chosen locations throughout town. We're ready to go, the vendor's ready to go, the borough's ready to go, but unfortunately Eversource, who is going to allow us to wire into their utility lines, is not ready to go. So we're pushing them a little bit. Unfortunately, not everybody works always as fast as we do. But as far as upgrading that project, and I don't want to talk off the cuff because I'm not the IT expert, but I do know that in order to put those cameras in, as long as there's stable internet here, which I assume there is in the community room at minimum, it should be it shouldn't be that heavy of a lift. The biggest issue is remote locations where there's not internet, but if we have a reliable source, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
I did some research on the cameras. Home Depot, if you buy over 5 cameras, you get a big discount at Home Depot.
Well, thank you, and definitely some of these are very similar to ones you buy at retail.
Yeah.
But we also have to be mindful that anything that's sending information into the police department needs to meet CJIS and DOG security standards. For example, there was a vendor that was trying to sell a lot of municipal government contracts. The security system was found to be, or the security standards were compromised due to the Chinese government having access to those. So the federal government has said you are not allowed to put those in government buildings, especially law enforcement facilities. So we have to go with the certain ones that are in parameters in order to maintain our security clearance with the federal standards for the computers. Is there any other issues? I mean, like I said, I know our presence up here continues to be maintained. Is there any other outreach events or anything, any feedback on that we can maybe do that anybody has any?
Well, I was told there was a couple of cars here that park on Conrad Street, that they change the license plates all the time. And I know I talked to Jimmy Goggin about that.
Mhm.
And he told, I forget the girl, Stephanie Canood, I guess. She says that, I guess they sent out bills to these people, but I don't know, they're still there.
Yes, they are.
And they
They're
are,
parked
right?
they're parked
I mean,
curbside.
so many
Yeah.
people have been talking about this,
New
and I
York
said, I
and New
can't
Jersey plates,
understand
and
it.
they switch them to 4 different
There
vehicles.
are 3 cars from New York,
Three now, yeah.
black, Mercedes-Benz, the 2 black Mercedes-Benz truck and 1 black Mercedes-Benz car. And it's out of New York. But though, they got the plates out of Arizona. And this plate don't expire until April. The plate's supposed to be 30-day plate, but they must go on the computer and make out their own plates and they change the
They
name.
change
And then they.
I don't think that's, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
that's what I was told.
They have a temporary one on the car.
I know a while back, we got a call for a couple of cars, with that same place, but when they came and checked them, the plates matched the cars. So when they ran through our system, so the plates were valid.
So it may not be a criminal violation if they are registered to those vehicles, but bringing back to what you guys are saying, if the vehicles are registered out of state and they are parked here overnight, that definitely would be a tax issue that we could,
That's right.
that
yeah.
you guys could
Well, the
facilitate.
people live here.
You people live here.
They've been here for like 2-3 years.
And just for my information, because I addressed that with one person that I saw, and I said, this is an issue. And he said, I have dual registration.
Yeah.
He said, and he paid a Naugatuck tax bill, a car tax bill.
We'll look
So-
into that, and if they're
He said
living
he
here
pays
and
in
they're
New York and Connecticut, and he said he would give me the copy of the tax bill.
They don't pay in New York.
yeah, if that is the case, they are residing here and there's not, tax being collected for here, that could be a violation that we could look into taking enforcement if it's registered or if it's garaged here overnight for a prolonged period and stuff, so we could definitely task somebody to look into this and if necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that, in here, we have one vehicle. Because when I moved in here, I had.
One vehicle in the lot, yes.
Right, right. When I moved here, I had 2 vehicles, and they said 1 vehicle, so I got my other vehicle, I put it in storage
Mhm.
and everything, so I will, and even though the car on the street, this guy got 3, and he lived here, and he was here, he moved in after I moved in, and he got 3 cars out of New York, and I don't understand about no.
Well, that's on the
rules.
street, it's not in our lot, so we don't, police
It's not
that.
private property.
Yeah, it's not our property.
Well, like I said, if we are aware that these are residents here, that could be an issue that they have failed to register their vehicles, so we will take note of that and we'll look into it. We'll get those license plates afterwards, and if there's a violation, we can take action, so.
And then to another thing too, the people, the package and staying people that took off the porch, I was one of them. They took some off my porch. They tried to steal my vehicle. They come along with off and everything, I came out and I saw somebody running down this way, and somebody down this way was saying, run, run, run. But I couldn't see the person because it was dark. So I called, the police, and they came out in about 10 minutes and they investigated.
It is obviously a problem throughout Connecticut and nationally too, with an uptick in vehicle theft, so we definitely encourage everybody to take any kind of measures as far as locking your vehicles, but also any sort of boxes or anything that's authorized, obviously, for the housing authority to place those packages in, so they're theft resistant and stuff. There's a whole bunch of different options. I know Amazon has some that you can purchase and stuff. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Obviously, at our level, we recently begun working with Waterbury's Auto Theft Task Force to try to apprehend these offenders, but it's a very pervasive problem. So we're really trying our best, but at the end of the day, it's going to be incumbent on everyone here to take some measures to prevent victimization, unfortunately.
I did call, I bought my camera, I got a camera up now, so my own camera. I don't catch it.
It
But
definitely
when we live-
helps.
When we live here, we shouldn't have to worry about the people that live here stealing our packages off of our porches. They don't belong on our porches. They siphoned my gas out of my gas tank. I
And if
mean,
I think
I
that's
have $50 worth of gas taken out of my car. And we have an idea who it is, but we can't prove it because we didn't see them. But there's too many people that this is happening to. There's their packages stolen off of 5 people's porches, and it's people that live here. We shouldn't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to take measures. Somebody should find out who it actually is.
And that's one of the biggest things that is definitely would be helping would be just simply the presence of camera searches. and
Yeah.
storage. And I would definitely say that if we go that route, they'll be clearly posted so people understand in the public areas. Those are under
Right.
footage and stuff, and I assume that would help.
Because I was thinking of getting the ring thing and putting it on so I can see who's standing on my porch at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, Ring is a helpful tool. We do encourage people to use that. You also join part of the community, so the Ring app does allow people to receive
Yeah.
alerts. If there's, for example, thefts occurring within the neighborhood, you can get an alert on your phone, and you'll be aware of that. So you will know that maybe you want to make sure there's nothing on your
Right.
porch. Maybe you're going to make sure that you take some extra steps, that a neighbor maybe remove some of the things from your door. So it definitely is a technology-based community.
Right.
And it really does empower people to do a little bit more. For example, if you're somebody who's being victimized, you can put something out and say, I've seen this person here, or this is,
Right.
and it will allow that. So it creates like a virtual neighborhood watch, which is really kind of one of our goals of trying to move ahead. Because we don't have that anymore, but you can do a virtual one.
Okay.
Well, definitely, I want to thank you guys for your time tonight.
Thank you.
and
Thank
I
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for
I'm
coming.
welcome, be glad to attend anytime, so if it's something, you need my input on and keep the lines of communication open. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on. We need somebody to add this onto the agenda. It's for no help. Somebody make a motion to add this onto the.
I make the motion that we attach just for the proposals for the new 9-foot plow for the Ford dump truck.
Second? I'll second.
Attached are 3 proposals for the new 9-inch, 9-foot, I guess, plow.
Oh, yeah, 9 foot.
9-foot plow for the Ford dump truck. Bids are as follows. Universal Body and Equipment, Watertown, $5,507. New Haven Body, North Haven, $5,523. Man's Auto Sales Repair, Milldale, $7,300. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Basically, the third quote for Vans is a little higher because they only have stainless. The other 2 are just steel plows. Stainless is a little more expensive, but all the prices include the plow plus the connections. We already have the existing mount, so we can reuse that. So they just have to have the connection, so it's compatible. And Paul did speak to each of these distributors to make sure it was what we needed and to make sure the quotes were in line with what we needed.
Okay.
So Universal is the lowest. We have purchased from them before and they're close by. They're right in Watertown, which is good because if there's a problem, you want to be close by so you can go and, get it repaired or get it serviced rather than farther away.
Just looking to see.
Yeah, some of them break it down a lot more with the harness and the HV too, but they all know
I just
what.
wondered why the other one had everything, but it's so expensive. What is that?
Oh, because that's a stainless. It's a stainless steel plow rather than just steel. The silver, yeah, more expensive. But we don't need it because we have steel plows now. We've had them for 20+ years.
I just thought, the difference, what the difference.
Yeah, it was the stainless, but that's all they had, so. That's basically what they could price out. I don't know if,
So I guess Universal's installed this, you wrote installed on the other,
yeah, they're all
and the other one's
installed.
enclosed, okay, yeah.
Yeah, one of them I had to call and clarify
Okay.
because it didn't include the install price, so I had to add that on.
Chrissy, with the steel plows, they maintain them and rub the rust off and repaint them every year to make them keep going?
Ours, we haven't had to. We've been lucky. We don't even store them inside. We don't have space for it, but we've had ours for more than, I haven't bought a plow since we've been here and I've been here.
Yeah, I don't think I'd buy stainless steel. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's gotta
Exactly.
be that's gotta be real expensive too.
Yeah, it's obviously a couple grand more, so.
Yeah, for what? It's gonna last a lifetime, almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Ours anyway.
Probably more apt to get stolen. No.
Over here, yeah,
Yeah, over here.
unless there's a camera on it.
Our like that.
Yeah.
It'll last
There
our-
should be one on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows. Someone who's local to them.
If anybody wants to vote.
Want me to make a motion?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the bid from Universal Body and Equipment for the new snow equipment.
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, now we'll go into new business. The election of officers for 2022. The first one is the chairperson. Somebody make a motion to
I nominate Matt.
Is there a motion for what, the chairperson?
Yeah.
For who, Matthew? Matthew Erickson. Okay, I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any approved? I mean, any opposed? Any opposed? So moved. Okay, Matthew, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Now we have the vice chairman, second, for the second election of officers, vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Joan Tapp.
I second it.
Thank you. All right. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now the nomination of treasurer.
Marie Fidalgo. I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Okay.
Any opposed? So moved. Maria. Now the last one is assistant treasurer. I nominate Helen Borbas.
I second it.
Okay, second. All right, all in favor, any opposed, so moved. All right, congratulations, Matthew.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, congratulations. All right, now we go on to review, discussion, vote on resolution 331, authorizing write-off of vacant tenant receivables for 2021. I just wanted to know, now you have your, all these people, are they out on the right away?
Vacated, which means either they passed away or they went into long-term care. Some passed away, some went to long-term care.
Because I know you have here all their inactive, that's why I asked you.
We only write off the inactive. Anybody that's active in place, we collect them, obviously, or we make attempts to collect. These are people that have moved out, that we have tried to reach out to, say, family members, if there are any family members, to try and get the bills paid. A lot of times when they go into long-term care, they're out of the unit for 3-4 months before they're actually, forced to stay there.
Yeah.
So they don't always pay, and then the nursing home will take their money, and we don't get the retro payments, and none of the family will pay that.
All
So
right,
that's what a lot of these are. A couple people actually overpaid.
I see
And
that.
yeah, so they had outstanding credits, but they went into long-term care, so it ends up being a wash. If you notice, our write-offs are low this year. They're only 49.
Yeah,
which went back
when I first got on board, you had like.
We had like
20
20-something thousand. Yeah.
That was
Even
hard.
last year, we had quite a bit, so this is.
Now, this is a
better.
credit, we have for the congregate, you had a credit that was right, that was good, right?
Yep,
Yeah. that's good.
exactly.
The next one is George B. Lewis.
And those were minimal. This is George B. Lewis, all federal sites, so George B. Lewis 1, 2, and Lewis Circle. So the Lewis Circle folks were both evictions.
Oh, these two here, they're saying they were
Yeah.
evictions, okay.
One left before we actually had to do the full eviction, the other one was evicted. So part of her bill, her balance will be legal fees that we, what we do is when we're evicting somebody, we do relay the legal fees to them.
Mhm.
And if they're evicted and they leave, they don't usually pay the fees. And it's hard to, hard to get it, especially if they don't have income.
All right, now the last one here is Oak Terrace.
Mhm.
So you had up to 130, that was good for that, right?
Not bad, because we had some people that had left and had credits that the family had not requested the funds, so those washed out the people that had left owing money.
So all these people here that they're not living here, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I think it's good. I mean, it's not that much to show. I have to read the whole thing, right? Resolution number 331, authorizing write-off of vacated tenant accounts receivable for 2001. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Naugatuck Housing Authority finds that the vacated tenant accounts receivable attached to and made a part of this resolution are bad debts and uncollectible. And whereas all efforts have been made to collect these debts, now therefore be resolved that the Naugatuck Housing Authority has approved the write-off of vacated tenant accounts receivable for Robert E. Hutt, George B. Lewis, Lewis Circle, and Oak Terrace complexes in the total amount of $4,934.84. Now, this is a regular vote that we have to vote. Myself, yes. Helen Borbas.
Yes.
Commissioner Maria Fidalgo.
Asking for your vote. Yes.
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 Commissioner Matthew
Yes.
Erickson. Commissioner Sue Nastri.
Yes.
Okay, all approved. I gotta sign. All right, now, that's, we have another resolution here. Yeah, okay. Could I do in blue ink? or-
Yeah, you can do it, Will. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, this is resolution 332. Now, this is for, let me read this back page here. Maintenance charges. I don't know if any of you have read it. She had, Chrissy had highlighted all the increases in yellow marker. And if you read that, it's, do I have to read the whole thing? You think?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, do you want me to read the resolution? or-
Oh, I'll read the resolution, but I just want to know everybody understand
Yeah,
what this
and those
is.
are within reason. That's what we're actually paying for the items that are going up.
Yeah,
So we're, just paying for what we need. We're not making a profit on any of these. And
well, I think that the replacement of keys should have even been more because a lot of people lose their keys.
Mhm,
This way that if they have to pay a little bit more, they'll be more careful.
right. And the lockouts, that increased due to the cost of labor,
Yeah, I know
and
that.
they
and
get
then-
2 hours overtime. That's why we urge people to
yeah.
have a copy or make a copy and keep it with family or
Now,
friends.
this furniture, I know that's, they always have the maintenance guys throw out a lot. I
Mhm.
see, I read all the reports and that's a lot. I mean, it's good that they increased it to
Mhm.
50. I thought that was reasonable. And interior doors, I didn't think is that many.
Those are solid. Those are more like Lewis Circle.
Oh,
We have large front doors in those. They're solid core doors.
mhm.
So that's why those are more expensive.
That went up $40. Right?
Mhm.
Three screens went up 10.
Three
That's
streaming
not
up 10, yeah.
bad. So that's not too bad. I'll read, I hope everybody read that. Resolution 332, increase maintenance charges effective March 1st, 2022. Whereas the Naugatuck Housing Authority has reevaluated its maintenance charges and determined that increases are required to bring charges to reflect current product costs and wages. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Naugatuck Housing Authority do hereby approve the updated maintenance charge listing effective March 1st, 2022. Results were as follows. Votes at Joan Taft, Commissioner Helen Borbas.
Yes.
Commissioner Maria Fidalgo,
Yeah.
Commissioner Matthew Erickson.
Yes.
Commissioner Sue Nastri.
Yes.
Okay. That was easy.
Mhm.
Right. Now, go into public comment. Public comment is 5 minutes. Anybody like to get up now? You can speak 5 minutes. All right.
Well, good evening, everyone. I first want to congratulate all the new commissioners, well, for your new positions. And welcome Terry Marangi as the new Burgess liaison, took my place as the Burgess liaison to the Housing Authority.
Hi, Chair.
And I also work with him at Cross Street, so he's going to do great. And GM Mazeski is still on as the Zoom.
Mhm, he's on Zoom
liaison, so
here.
congratulations again.
Hi, Charlie. See you in a few minutes.
Jan, I feel like I'm watching Charlie's Angels and you're the voice that comes.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Charlie, you're great. That's all.
Anybody else have any
I have
questions?
one thing to say, kudos to our maintenance department. I know during the snowfall and everything, you guys are right there.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Y'all look back for us.
Yes, you do.
You can get $10 later.
We're getting more snow Friday, no, Sunday, they said. Yes. Sunday.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday.
All right.
Yeah.
Getting more snow.
Subject to
May.
change today's place.
I just want to apologize for being so late, but I learned a lesson today. If anybody drives your car, you let them borrow, especially your children. Don't, always, when you get back in your car, make sure you look at everything in there. My car, the clock is always, well, it's been an hour ahead because I don't know how to turn it back,
Yeah.
then the hour will change. What, in April or March, so
Yes,
it's
right,
okay.
right.
And I keep it 10 minutes ahead,
Mhm.
so it'll get me anyway. So I left the house and it was like, it was so early, so I stopped at Charlotte to get stuff for my sister-in-law down
Yeah.
the street here. And then when I go to check out, I look, it's like 5:05. So I told the girl, I said, I can't take, I'm just gonna leave the items in the car and see you in the morning.
Oh, that's
Aw.
But you know, I'm what, 3 months away from being 82 and then I'm still learning. I can't trust me. Yeah, thank you. You all have a wonderful, is it winter? Spring will be coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
I want all of that, but-
5 more weeks.
Now we have, next is commissioners' comments. Any commissioners' comments?
Chrissy, the money that we have like with the laundry thing, that's under other, what else is under other,
What do you mean under
as
other?
far as the funds?
Are you talking about on the budget
Yeah.
or? Without looking at it, I mean. Are you talking about the revenue?
Yeah, I'm just curious what else is under the that, you know, that's under other, so I'm assuming there's other things under other. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
As far as the funds.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the budget right now, but I mean, the laundry is separate, the laundry receipts. That's classified separately. I don't know how much is under other. I don't have the budget with me.
Well, the accountant said at the budget meeting that it was under other.
The laundry receipts?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just curious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he classifies, the accountant puts everything in those little pockets there, so I'll find out from him and let you know what he has in the other there,
Mhm.
you know.
So what was for the laundry? Do you remember?
Can't remember offhand, but it was a good amount.
Yeah.
That's why I was just wondering what
I don't
they use
remember
with
it
the
either. I'll have to
funds,
look it up.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, we pay for the water and the electric in those rooms. You know what I mean? The laundry equipment company maintains the machines, but we're paying for the electric to run them
Mhm.
and all the water for the washing machines, the electric for the dryer.
Yeah, but where does that money go?
To pay the utility bills.
Oh, to pay the
Yeah,
bills for the
utility
utilities
bills.
and the water.
But yeah, don't forget, I mean, these buildings, all the common areas, all the laundry rooms, the site lighting, the housing authority pays all that.
Okay, so that comes.
So
out of-
laundry receipts, any profit we make from laundry would go to pay the electric, because it's not
Okay.
really profit if you're paying for the electric and the water in that room, you know what I mean?
Does that answer your question? Well, we should look at what the other is. There must be
Yeah.
something else under there. We put other.
Well, that's what I mean, I don't know what else. is under that, you know what I mean?
Under that
That
category, under that
classification.
category. you're
Right.
saying.
Yeah, usually he'll give a few pages before, he'll categorize what it is, but I'll have in front of you to look at it. You know, previously in the budget, he'll say what other items might construe. He has really good explanations in most of it.
I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day and happy Easter.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you. Then,
She brought us something about the lights. 2 to 3, all back there, they know outside lights, but one.
Yeah, there's a short.
Down at the corner. Yeah, there's an electrician that's gonna come look at it. There was some water in all the rain we had last weekend. It went into it got into the bottom of the light pole. So, and those are all, you know, connected. So the electrician's gonna come and look at that in the next couple of days.
Okay, because they calling me like I'm coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Paul already brought it to my attention a couple days ago, so I called the electrician, so he's coming out. Probably a wet connector or something that flooded down there, especially everything comes downhill.
right, I think everything is said. I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 5:50. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Hi, everybody. I hope
Bye.
you're doing good, Joan. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I'm here, I'm here. That's all I
excuse me, I like to say something to the board, not in front of other people. I want to be proud with this. Look, I've been out here for a long time. I failed and broke my ankle on the 24th of November. Nobody called me and said, Ben, how you doing? Ben, do you need anything? Nobody but Sue. And then that I supposed to got a paper to fill out. Actually, I never received it. I actually report. I never received it.
No. Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, Ben, sorry, I didn't know what he was.